Coming at you from my Airbnb in Korea, and it is finally time to grade Palia. What's up, guys? I am Glow, an English teacher by day and mental health focused gamer by night. I am a certified mental health advocate and a proud ambassador for Guardians Mental Health. I am on a mission to find the best MMOs that are beginner friendly and mental health friendly. So if that sounds like something you enjoy, make sure you subscribe to my channel and like this video. Now let's get to class. Welcome back to the Caps Lock Institute of Wellness and General Fuckery. Here's the deal. I'll be playing the first 20 hours of each game in order to get a good idea of how beginner friendly it is. It's up to me what I do with that time, but I am trying to get the most authentic beginner experience that I can. So, how will I be choosing the best student? To start, we've got the grading scale. The grading scale is probably familiar to a lot of you with the addition of my special top grade, which is a G. If a game gets a G for any category, it means they did it basically perfectly. The scale goes down from there all the way to an F, which obviously stands for fucking awful. They failed big time. Each letter grade is awarded a number score, 6 for G, 5 for A, 4 for B, so on and so on. In order to pass the Caps Lock Institute, the game must have a B or a 4 average or higher. When it comes to the actual report card, we've got 9 primary categories plus a 10 extra credit slot. Extra credit is going to be awarded at my discretion when I think a game has done something exceptionally well or even exceptionally poorly that is not listed on the report card. This means that not every game is going to get extra credit. For the first semester, I'll be grading 5 MMOs to start, and the 2 top students with the highest scores will go on to compete for valedictorian, where we will grade the in-game content. Now, let's get on to the report card, starting with our character builder. When I am grading character builder, I am looking at the customization involved and how diverse the options are. First up, we've got our character customization. I do really appreciate how Palia has not gender locked the body types, but I do wish that there were more than 2 options. And just in general, I would really love to have more precise customization across the board. They have the options for like changing multiple colors in places like the hair, but they don't really have those options elsewhere. I do love the variety of voice options, and once again, that they are just numbered and not gender locked. I really appreciate that. The part that really stands out for me is the hairstyles. There's a huge variety of hairstyles with different styles and textures, even headscarves, and you can even do multiple different colors at once, which I really appreciate. Where I think we're lacking a little bit is definitely in the outfit department. There's certainly a lot of outfits to choose from, but a lot of them seem very similar to me. And I didn't really love most of them. I don't think I'll be taking off too many points for that though, because again, there is a lot of options. I just don't think there's a lot of variety in that regard. Overall, I think that Palia has done a great job with the character builder, but for a game that does pride itself on inclusivity, I would love to see more body types on display and more precise customization when it comes to the character builder. And so I'm going to award Palia a B for this category. Moving over to our accessibility options, I am wanting to see a variety of different accessibility options that are easy to find and maybe even offered directly to the player when you load into the game. Unfortunately, that is not the case here for Palia. While the menu to change your accessibility settings is pretty easy to find, there are not a lot of options. There is key mapping available and there is controller mapping, which I do think is necessary for PC gaming these days. And you can even change your field of view settings, but that seems to be really all there is. There's no colorblind settings, no lighting settings. You can't turn off flashing or screen particles, and I would just like to see more. Not gonna lie, this one was a little disappointing for me. I can tell that the heart is there for the Palia team, but the execution is not. So for accessibility, Palia gets a C, I'm sad to say. Before we get on to talk about everybody's favorite topic, I just have one favor to ask of you. If you are enjoying this video so far, please like this video and subscribe to my channel, and I appreciate it so much. Back to the video. Our next category, community toxicity, is pretty straightforward in the name. What is the community like, and how do they treat new players in the game? Palia is a very simple game, and so community help isn't really necessary except for a few quests, like where you're having to gift things to other players or get things from other players. But I will say that just the way Palia is set up makes it difficult to feel like you are actually part of a community. You join a new instance of the game every single time you change maps if you're going from your house or into an event region or into the main map. And so it makes it kind of hard to get to know new players. There's not really a lot of community activities that get people together that I experience, but I have been told that there's more I had yet to discover. I just wish that Palia had done more here. They're talking about this being such a multiplayer game, and I wish there was more use of that multiplayer capability. Without a doubt, Hotpot was one of my favorite parts of playing Palia. It was fun to play with other people, and I really loved the concept of the game and just the way it looked. It was a really cute design, and I really enjoyed playing it. Other than that, though, people within the game mostly seemed to keep to themselves, which is totally fair since this is touted as a calm and cozy game. However, I will say the folks that came into my chat were so incredibly helpful. I really appreciated the number of players who came in to give me pointers or encourage my adventures in this game. And that really helped boost Palia up in this regard. And so for that, Palia gets a B+ for its community. And this brings us to our next category and my arch nemesis, game mechanics. Game mechanics for Palia are pretty straightforward and easy to navigate. I will say, just in general, much simpler than most MMOs. They do have a bit of an advantage since there isn't any battle, so it's kind of hard to compare in those regards. But I do really like the tools that they've implemented to make the game simpler to play, like the wheel for swapping your tools. It was easy enough to play and simple to catch on to new controls when they were introducing new aspects to the game. And so I am happy to say that for mechanics, Palia gets an A. And on to the next category of our report card, which is consequences. Now, it makes sense for any game to have consequences if a player does do something wrong or make a mistake. But what I am looking for here is just how high stakes these consequences are. Since we are at the very beginning of the game, in these first 20 hours, players may still be learning the mechanics and getting used to controls. So if the consequences are too high stakes, it can be detrimental to their gameplay and really impact the enjoyment that the player has. On the bright side, Palia has no consequences. Really, there is nothing wrong other than like if you miss something, you lose your materials. I think this can be a good thing for some people and a bad thing for others. Some people do like feeling a little bit of that pressure from the consequences, but I personally found this to be a benefit as I did begin to see Palia more as this cozy farming sim rather than an MMO in the standard sense. And so for that reason, I am giving Palia a G for this category. Moving on, and we're talking about how good these games are at keeping me interested in the gameplay. And to be honest, I was beginning to really only look forward to the Hotbot games when I was logging on to play Palia. The rest of it kind of felt like work after a certain amount of time. I think that the lack of other MMO features like classes or factions was really a detriment to Palia in this regard because it made it harder to feel like I was part of a community or a part of something else. And for me, it just made it harder to stay focused on the gameplay and my mission and sort of what I was aiming to do. I have been told that this gets better later in the gameplay, but at the beginning, for me, it just felt kind of sad. There are already lots of other cozy farming sims, like everybody's favorite, Stardew Valley or Fields of Mystria. I could name probably 10 more. And so I think the Palia team really needs to lean in more to the MMO aspect of the gameplay in these beginning phases so people can feel more of that community. Because of that, I have to give Palia a D+ for maintaining my interest. Now, for low grindability, I am taking a look at how often a beginner has to go through content in order to get the gear or materials that they need to succeed. And I swear to fucking God, if I have to hunt for another bug or a fish, I will probably scream. In my opinion, these quests took a lot of time with little reward. There wasn't a ton of effort. It's not like it's difficult. You just have to keep looking for the thing that you need, waiting for them to spawn, going after them, waiting for them to spawn, going after them. And for me, that aspect of gameplay is just never fun. And I'm used to the back and forth questing that comes with MMOs. And maybe it's because I was missing that community aspect in this game that this just felt especially tedious and time consuming to me and not something that I enjoyed at all. Unsure. Nonetheless, for this reason, Palia gets a D in this category. Now, when it comes to difficulty, I like to see an MMO that is a little challenging, but not too difficult. When it comes to Palia, challenge? What challenge? Palia is made to be simple and enjoyable, and it definitely accomplishes that. I recommend that people play this in bite-sized sessions and not go in for a long grinding series of gameplay like I do with most MMOs. It's easy to make challenges for yourself, like scores in hotpot, lot decorating, etc., but there's not a lot of challenge offered explicitly in the game. Palia definitely succeeds at what it's aiming to be, which is a cozy game that is simple and fun to play. And for the people looking for that, I do think they will find it enjoyable. And for that reason, for difficulty, Palia gets an A. Next up, we've got one of my favorite categories, which is the music. When I am evaluating a soundtrack in a game, I am looking for music that is just really iconic and identifiable, beautiful background music while you're walking through, and of course, some killer battle themes. Probably not battle themes for Palia though. Palia does do a fantastic job when it comes to their soundtrack. The music is absolutely beautiful and definitely identifiable as Palia music. And my favorite thing, it is continuous without sounding like it is on an endless loop. It's not annoying, it's just nice ambient background noise that fits with the theme of whatever region you're in. And I think it's fair to say that Palia gets a G for their soundtrack. And we have finally made it to the extra credit. I award extra credit when a game does something exceptionally well or even extremely poorly. So, does Palia have what it takes to receive extra credit? Yes, but not in a good way. What exactly is the opposite of extra credit? Should it be like less credit, fewer credits, minus credits? I really don't think I can say it enough, but Palia just does not feel like an MMO to me. They talk about it as if it's an MMO. It is marketed as an MMO, and it is a great game for people looking for a cozy, relaxing, farming, fishing, whatever sim, but it is not what MMO gamers that I know are looking for. Palia actively advertises itself as an MMO and being massively multiplayer, but they don't really use that to their advantage when it comes to actually playing the game and utilizing the community. There's already too few people on each server, in my opinion, and coupled with the fact that you are re-instanced every time you're changing the map section, it just makes it really hard to feel like you are a part of something that is greater than your own gameplay. This, for me in particular, made it really hard for me to get to know other characters or to get into other events and things in the game if it wasn't something that a community member came into my chat to talk to me about. Coupled with the fact that in my 20 hours, there were only a few events and games that actually utilized the community aspect of the game. Quite simply, Palia didn't feel like an MMO to me. This was the first one in this series where I didn't think I was actually playing an MMO. For that reason, for extra credit, Palia gets a D. Now, if you've been following along and totaling up the scores as I revealed them, then you know that Palia got a 4.0, which is a B. With a score slightly higher than everyone's favorite critically acclaimed MMO, Palia does beat Final Fantasy XIV out of the running for becoming valedictorian this semester. I'm sorry, nothing I can do about it. Now, in case you missed it, I have already played through the next and final student for this semester, which is Guild Wars 2. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I really appreciate it. Even if you don't agree with my opinions and my grades, I really appreciate everybody's comments and what you have to say about my take on these report cards, as well as about the games in general. We're all just here enjoying our games and trying to have fun, and I appreciate hearing your thoughts on everything. If you did enjoy this video, I really appreciate it if you like and subscribe and share it with your friends if you think it's something that they would enjoy as well. And hopefully soon I'll have the next report card out for Guild Wars 2. I'll see you in the next one.